Philosophy Friday. You didn't ask for it, I'm doing it regardless. Why? That's what it's about. Why? Why? Everything is always why. Like my intent is rooted in the singularity of a single thought consciousness. No. That would mean all of my actions are rooted in the same outcome you want. That's the problem with politics. Do I speak on politics? No, because that's a distraction. It's a sophist, and no one can get hard to that. This is Big Leg Energy, Philosophy Friday. Woohoo! Why? Because I can. That's why. People always go, why? Why? I get the question why a lot. And since it's the age of Aquarius, I think I'll throw some crumbs out. I'm not trying to be an arrogant person in this. It's more frustration. Frustration and concern simultaneously. And a question of why. When you ask me why I've gotten what I wanted you to question. Yeah, young Socrates shit. At least I'm better looking this time. I ain't taking a hemlock again. No. Why? Because everyone's shackled looking at the reflections and the shadows. Don't know the light. They see the images that have been morphed by the candle holder. And that's not fair. I don't like bullies. That's my why. Let's go with I don't like bullies as a why. And why not? Things are fun when you get to live in the moment. When you get to, the thing in the army, do not question, it's do or die. No, it's not my place to question, it's to do or die. It's mine is like, I don't want to die for another man's horse. That's great and all. That's what you're saying is fine. Pledge allegiance to horse, country, and rhyme. But, again, I'm not being disrespectful and shitting on the flag there. I'm saying I'm here for the spirit and the intent of it. It's like changing a religion. You can convert, but are you converting because it keeps the peace, or are you converting because it's your heart's truth? Your truth's understanding, which doesn't need the politics of a sophist. A sophist is the old days you had a politician. A politician would go and he would learn the linguistics. Learning linguistics for everyone else, because they like using big words to confuse people. They use words and emotion to manipulate people of an average intelligence and an average understanding through the game rules that they taught you is average in a normal form of society in which you go to school to, because it's not much of a choice. And if you don't go to the school for the cookie for the carrot, well, where's your value in that system? Is your value unto yourself your own, or is it the shackles in which hold you to watch the formation of someone else's ideology of consciousness's experience for the whole? An atom of the cell of the body is being controlled by an equal atom of the cell of the body. No. One arm can't control the whole body. One organ can't run and function the entirety of the body. So why? Because to be whole, all have to be performing in a self-function, within self-function being fulfilled in oneself to fully form as its own function in a society, if you choose to demonstrate a society which is an expression of cultures, expression of do's and don'ts for a city on a hill. Now, if there is a bulk of the body, all of the body, the rest of your body is not being taken care of, how far can your mind go? The mental health of a society, let's take the equivalent of that into a state of the economic status. Let's say mental state of a being is equal to economic status of a culture. A culture grows through its economic status of innovation. So when you say that democracy brings innovation, democracy could bring innovation. But true democracy has already shown mob rule. But a democratic republic is like putting training wheels on a republic. on a democracy. A Democrat and a Republican are nothing more than words for a social club to get into certain business groups back in the early days when new money was being created. Now you got old money and new money. Old money gets to run the functions of your thought process. New money gets to figure out how to play the game of old money. Understand that? But to someone like a philosopher who don't get a hard on for the idea of manipulating the culture, who has had itself indoctrinated in the thought process of a game of Monopoly with training wheels on it, to not understand the words of the culture, so that they don't know they're touching a hot pot. And every time you touch a hot pot, you get thrown into an ideology of itself, a whole new culture that is not of your own will. So if you do not play the game of a singularity, so if one atom controls all the rest of the atoms in the cell of the body, well, that in itself would be a cancer. This cell, this atom, is now the bad apple in the bunch. So what I'm saying is, if we've gotten to a point where the people with the means of the society to create the illusion of which is our consciousness, our truths, our paths in life, whether it be future, current state, or past. The current state rewrites the future and the past. So for my intention of getting you to question why it's like being a hiccup in the matrix, it's like the thing that gets you to snap out of the past and the future and be current, because it's now in the breath of this current state in which we have the power. We have the power here. But we listen to the words of the days of old as it's going to save us. And you're afraid of the future as if it's going to destroy us. I'm right here, making you go why? Making you go why? Because what's going on ain't good enough, that's why. You feel awkward when you feel my touch because it makes you question, is it more than lust? Are we lusting for? There's an equilibrium of chasing and what is just. We hear the same words of our old ancestors of old mind of creation. And when they said things were the days of things being just, they were just as being the things as just as they are. Not some psychedelic meaning of, oh, you don't know what the things of the ancients said. They said what they meant, and they meant what they said. And the human condition knows the human condition has always has been, but we only have as far back as we know to be told the truth. And to be divided, and to be multiplied by the dividing of a conqueredness, of a misunderstanding of linguistics, in which a sophist wants to confuse you with the words. But if you can be questioned into the form of going, what is my truth? Not my truth is me, the singularity of me, the atom of the body, but my truth would find the truth of the entirety. And finding the truth of the entirety would help me find the strength of all, and help me find the strength of the energy to just resonate, to that just resonate onto itself and to others. And then it is that with itself to heal. And when we heal, we gain strength. And when we gain strength, we go, no leader can run equality. Equality can have no leader. Equality must have respect and understanding, but most of all, the communication in touch of a soul-body-being connection. If the body and the heart do not connect, the words are empty and lukewarm. They have no meaning and purpose. A politician's word is nothing but a fallacy, and which has nothing but a joke into which you feel no hope. Two sides of the same coin flipped over and over again can only have one outcome. It's still a coin. You could take chances of probability all fucking day. You can change chances of probability, but a chance and a probability most likely comes from the disagreement of choice. The disagreement of choice is what makes the choice strengthen itself. But if a choice has to be a choice rather than a truth, that's when you lose the validity of a choice's truth. Because a dilemma is a denial of truth, and it's more than a denial of truth. It's a either misinterpreted of truth intentionally or misintentionally, disintentionally. I don't know how you want to put that. It really doesn't matter when you break down the root form. The root form of a meaning, the root form of an understanding and its solidarity to then manifest is what you need. That's what is empty in music. That is what is empty in politics. That is what is empty in the soul of America. And bringing back the soul in America as a leading factor and force that gets to create what is consciousness's experience for the rest of the world as it grows. Technology is not what grows a culture. Technology does not grow maturity. Technology grows maybe the body. It may be hard on the body. It may make the body lackluster, but if we can align ourselves physically and metaphysically, align ourselves into the truth and what is, always has been, and the truth of knowing, not what has been taught, that is the freedom. The freedom is to not go why, because you would already know why, because you're free with yourself. You would be free. You wouldn't have to question why. A poor K. Yes, I'm sad. That's what that sounds like to me. Poor K. Why? Don't do the things unto yourself and be lukewarm is the only hindrance on your own soul. I think that's selling the soul at lukewarmness. There's no balance. Food is fine in moderation to fill the body's nourishment, but then when you hit gluttony, well, now it's become a drug, right? But if you become too abstinent from food, well, you become weak. You need nourishment. So too little would cause you to diminish. Too much would cause you to diminish. You see, there's a balance. There's a balance. Not a hierarchy of extremists that swing like a pendulum. There's duality. Duality can only be within itself going back and forth. And back and forth, if you want to take the rhythm of back and forth like ping pong, it's basically the same thing how a circle goes. Same thing when you think about it. It's weird to think about. Like, I know it's a different form of thinking, but the message is clear. Back and forth. The repetition of this is the same motion. It would be doing the same of the circle of the earth. So how long do you want to go in that? It's a new age of Aquarius, of mental thinking, of liberation, of wondering, of going, why? Why?